of information of the new expansion. Where it's gonna be, when it's gonna be, and a bit of more speculation about those kind of stuff. So we're gonna go into it and we're gonna see all of this. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-fi if you want to support me. And let's get into it. So what is the information we have? First, and the most important one, I think, is that we have the Wizard's Vault. The Wizard's Vault has a little special tab here, and it tells you that it has 91 days remaining. Every time we have had this, we have known that the patch afterwards is in 91 days. The new patch, new story, everything. So this means that in 91 days, we should be getting the expansion. That being said, last time they actually delayed it for 1 week. Is this a complete confirmation of when it is? Not really, but it would make a lot of sense as 91 days from now is exactly August 20th, which is essentially 3 months after this, which will be a perfect day to get the expansion, and more or less close to the Secrets of the Obscure expansion released last year. We also have the events tab here that says that Festival of Four Winds from July 30th to August 20th. So the Festival of Four Winds will end literally then. So I'm guessing that it's going to happen that week or the week after, most likely. Now, what do we have about the actual expansion? So, Guild Wars 2 new expansion. Well, actually, forget it. So, the new expansion, we know that a few things. We had a picture a few months ago about like a forest little thing. Let me just Darren's Guild Wars 2 new expansion, right? I'm just gonna look at it up here. And the thing, it was leaked that this little picture that you can see here was actually named Delta Bog, right? Which means that it looks like it was a delta. A delta being a place where the rivers converge together, which made a lot of people think that this was inside of here, this little place. And we have more confirmation about this because in a little picture in the instance where, spoilers, defeat the final boss of the expansion, guys, you can actually see the Eye of Yanthir. And if you guys don't know about that, I guess you're gonna have to play Elite Wars Season 3, but it's essentially, it's very tied to the Morsats, right? Which essentially come from the Isles of Yanthir, supposedly, right? So it is essentially kind of, on Bastion of the Pendant and also being a Morsat raid that is very close to here as well. So it's essentially kind of confirmed that is in here as well. We also have more information about this, as we have, let me just get in here. We have Lydia at the last part of the story talking about, well, not Lydia talking about, but a message being sent to Lydia that was, essentially completely tied to the Morsat story and, the killing of the last Morsat. Being told by Anise to come back to Divinity's Reach. I'll leave all this, I'll leave all of these things in the description as well, so just so you guys can have it. But yeah, we essentially have that, and that makes me think that we're gonna essentially be able to go to Yanthir with Lydia, and she's gonna lead the charge to whatever is happening with the Morsats, right? We also know that the Wizard's Tower used to be in Yanthir as well. There's this little there's this little, what's the word? A little, I don't know, letter that you can get in Amnitas that says, specifically, I'll leave it in the description down below, but as well, it says, we just settled for where we are now. I thought the northern coast would be more peaceful than Yanthir. So essentially saying that, hey, when Suwon died, everything was like kind of crumbling, and there's a lot of things horrible happening around the world, and they moved from Yanthir to the, western coast, to the Horn of Maguma, right? So we already have another confirmation of another thing tying up to Yanthir. At this point is essentially completely confirmed that is there, right? And we also know that the Wizard's Tower is just moving around, kind of like a Dalaran in World of Warcraft, which is also very interesting. I wonder if we're gonna end up having the Wizard's Tower as a hub again, just because we're gonna move there, right? There's also a scrolls in Neos that is apparently written in symbols associated with Yanthir. I think I have it on here. Let me just... Well, I guess oh, there we go. Ancient scroll. There it is. Judging by the fragile nature of the parchment, the scroll must be ancient in origin. The language is unknown and only legible by the Heart of the Obscure. Though you do recognize symbols associated with Yanthir. There's a lot of things going on with the Zir, with the Morsat, and Yanthir with the Cryptus. This magic of this world courses with the power of our people, and this power can be turned against those who would defy us. When we march to war, the land comes with us, our home forever in our arsenal. Makes it seem like the home, being the Wizard's Tower, being the home of the seers. Woe to those who would not block our path, for they will face not just sword and claw, but the very essence of Neos itself. Where we go, they will kneel, as it must be. Now, it is very weird what they say there. The very essence of Neos itself. Are they drawing power from Neos as well? It is super interesting. And there's another picture, a very specific moment in the story. Spoilers again, guys, by the way, from Eparch, where he says, well, he also talks about how the Seer are essentially against them. He's probably talking about Isgaren, right? But he also says, Cryptis wander, all of our kinds are despised. For that which is our nature, we are predators, we must feed. So essentially being like, oh, the Seers are trying to get us in some way, right? So it really seems like maybe even the Cryptids were working with the Morsat to defeat the Seer, as they were kind of like Morsat and Seer kind of enemies from back in the day. Maybe that's why Seras was in the Bastion of the Penitent as well. I mean, not Seras, Deimos was in the Bastion of the Penitent helping to keep their secrets. There's a lot of implications here in terms of lore that are very, very interesting. It's probably one of the biggest, coolest things about this patch, I think. So yeah, I mean, definitely is gonna be in there. It's definitely gonna be in the Isles of Yantir. Also, some more information about other speculation that we can have, and definitely leave in the description some, ideas that, you might have about what this all means. We also know about, we have more information about what Eparch did back in the day and how he started. There's these letters. I'm just gonna open them now. I'm not gonna read them exactly what they say because they're kind of long, but essentially it's just about Eparch going into Tyria. With his brother, which is very, very interesting as well. Look at that. Vibrant, lush, and humid. Bonding creatures, cooking creases, sleep dreams, something watches, something enters. He's talking about probably Mordermoth. Wake, my brother screams, binds dragon, gone. So whatever, Mordermoth took his brother. And that made me think that maybe his brother was like the beginning of the Sylvari, right? Or the Mordom at least. Because they do kind of look similar, and there's actually another part of this of the last patch, not this one in particular, where a memory of an dead Cryptis talks about hunted down into the earth, can only wait for peace for the end for my journey to the tree, which is also very, very interesting. So there's a lot of weird connections about whatever we're gonna get next expansion, and I'm guessing we're gonna, I don't know, we're gonna probably get more information about one the Morsat, one the Cryptis, even though they're not gonna be, it's probably not gonna be a Cryptis expansion, but everything's gonna tie together, I think. So it's very, very interesting. And then Isgaren just, my bad. Yeah, Isgaren saves him, actually, yeah. Isgaren saves Eparch, and yeah, I collapse his resplendence Isgaren, right? Then he goes into the, there you go. He goes into the tower. Isgaren teaches him, and he starts talking to Isgaren, be like, hey, I'm hungry. I'm a Cryptis, I need to eat. And he's, he dismisses him, dismissed on balance, he says, speaks of ascension. So essentially when he gets ascended, he'll probably not have any hunger anymore, but he's still hungry. So eventually he ends up destroying a centaur village and eating all of them. Isgaren doesn't like that. I plead, he does not hear. Shouting, Tyria vanishes, felling flying dirt home Neos. So he goes back to Neos, right? Then in Eparch's fury, he essentially gathers all of his Cryptids to attack Isgaren at the end. He will regret, he will collapse, he will beg from my resplendescence. It seems in some ways kind of envious of him. So there's a lot of information. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. The conclusions, well, definitely an expansion about the Morsat or the Seers, and definitely in the Isles of Yantir. How they're gonna do that, who knows? And well, I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on all of the information we get from this speculation. There's a few Reddit threads, and I hope that because I gave almost all the information that I could gather, at least you guys can get some ideas as well. I put all the links in the description of all the things that I've talked about today, so you guys can speculate a bit more. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. tell me what you guys think, and see you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.